Hi guys, welcome to the webinar. Let's wait for 2 more minutes. Let's wait for few more people. I can see a lot of you have joined from different parts of the world. So it's so nice to see all of you here on the webinar today. Yeah, so let's begin. So hi everyone. So this is Siddhant this side. I'm the customer success manager at Survey to Connect and I'll be your host today for the webinar. Right, so as you all can see that I'm working from home right now because of this COVID situation, and me and my team have been working from home for almost a week now. I guess, yeah, almost a week now, almost a month now actually. So yeah, it has been fun working from home, and we have adjusted very well to this work from home culture. So we have been using multiple tools to to stay connected, like Zoom meetings. We do multiple kinds of stuff to stay connected and stay updated, and so we have been very productive during this COVID situation as well. So we also, during this COVID situation, we have spent all of this available time with us to revisit all of our product offerings. So currently we are working on new products which we believe in the change me that things will change, the scenarios will change post this pandemic, right? So things ought to change after such kinds of things, and I hope you guys are safe and staying home and keeping safe. It's something which we want to get rid of as soon as possible, and I hope everything is is better soon, right? So yeah, let's spend this quality time. Let's use this time. Let's utilize this time on identifying what we are doing, and how we are doing things, and what can we do better to improve our product offerings in the future, right? So these are few points we can look after for improving ourselves personally and our organizations during these difficult times. So without wasting any time, let's proceed with the Dashboard 2.0 webinar. And before I do so, right, I would like to thank all of my developers who have put their heart and soul in developing this platform. They did their best, and so we are having this webinar because of those guys. So thanks to all of you guys. So yeah, so let's begin with our webinar for which we all are here, right? So I'll begin with sharing my screen. I hope you guys can see my screen, right? So, right, right. So, if you guys have any questions during the webinar, just feel free to write them down. I would love to answer all of those questions at the end of the webinar. I'll take out time. I'll try to personally answer all of those questions. Just feel free to write them in the comment box below. There must be a question Q&A box below. You can write any kind of questions, right? So before we begin with the dashboards 2.0, let me just give you a quick introduction about Survey to Connect. I'm sure most of you must already be aware about Survey to Connect, but for those who don't, Survey to Connect is a SaaS-based experience management platform. So Survey to Connect is a DIY platform, and DIY, by DIY I mean do it yourself platform. So the platform is things in the platform are totally customizable, are easy to do. Things are made so that you can do, anyone can do them, even from the simplest thing to the difficult part, which is, advanced logics, which some of you may be aware of what they exactly mean, right? So that is what our main purpose is, to be a DIY platform, right? So in Survey to Connect, we have three key modules. So first one being collect, second one being analyze, and third. So what is collect? Collect basically means that through Survey to Connect, you can create advanced surveys. You can use advanced logic to make a survey intelligent. You can make the surveys in your organizations look and feel, right? So once you are completed creating a survey, then what you can do is collect those feedbacks through various mediums available in the platforms. We have our omni-channel feedback mechanism in the platform, so through which you can leverage to capture the feedback. So by omni-channel, what I mean is, we have you can collect the feedbacks through multiple sources. Like you can collect the feedback through SMS, through emails. You can integrate a survey to your website. You leverage the integrations with our panel providers we already have. If you don't have your database, you can upload your database. You can put the surveys on your social media accounts and whatnot. So we have tried to cover all the possible. You can gather a feedback. Then once the feedback is collected is the second point when we come to act, right? So what act includes is, its act is basically, analyzing all the feedback gathered. And it includes, you can create multiple cross tabs, you can create pivot tables, then you can create dashboards, so which is our point of discussion today as well. So I will come to dashboards in detail, of course, in the next slides as well. Then the last thing is act. So based on all of your feedback gathered, you can, work on it. So for example, if there's a person who is dissatisfied with your services, it has a bad experience, has a poor experience, so using act, the close the loop functionality we have present in a platform, you can convert all of your detractors to your promoters. You can make sure all of their queries are rectified, all of their problems are rectified using close the loop. You can data and ticket generation. Then we have promoter amplification, which could be leveraged in future to ask your promoters, who are the people who are most satisfied with your brand, to promote your company or to their social media accounts, and like Facebook, Twitter, which are very influential, I believe, right? So this was a small introduction about Survey to Connect. So if you wish to find out more details about Survey to Connect, you can always visit our website at surveytoconnect.com, or you can always write me an email. So you can find me on any kind of social media. It is very easy to find me, trust me. And then my email ID is siddhant@surveytoconnect.com. Right? So let's now proceed to dashboards, right? So for which we are here. So as most of you must be already aware that dashboards were available in our platform since the day we launched. We had dashboards since the day we launched in our platform. But from the beginning, we have been collecting your feedback. We have been listening to you guys, that your feedbacks, your recommendations, what things could be updated in our existing dashboards. We have done a lot of our research as well. So we had concluded each and every element, like your feedbacks, the research we did. So we noted down each and every point what we can do to improve. So we plan to totally revamp the dashboards and come up with dashboards 2.0, right? So what are dashboards 2.0? So dashboards 2, I'll quickly take you through the key highlights in our dashboards 2.0 before I take you to the live demo of the platform, before I jump to the live session, right? So dashboards what are the key points? So in our dashboards to improved UI UX. So all the widgets, everything is better looking, is modern. Then the dashboards are now stable than ever before. The dashboards were already, the stability part has been increased to it at most. now the dashboards are responsive in all kind of devices, so irrespective of the device size, as you can see in the image below as well, that dashboard looks good both in in a mobile device or in a laptop view as well. It could be a tablet view as well. It would look perfectly fine in a tablet view as well. So in these image, both of the dashboards are same, but both of them look good in mobile and laptop views, right? So these are the few key enhancements we did in Dashboards 2.0, in the improved UI UX, right? So I had just explained you the same part. So we have improved. So now the charts are better looking. The dashboards are easier to create. They are responsive in all kinds of in all kinds of devices. And so yeah, so we it is so when it comes to look and feel and UI UX, we have worked on it a lot, and you will also notice once we go to a live demo. Then we have introduced a NPS widget, which was very highly recommended by you guys, and then it is very important tool for all the CX based customers, because they generally tend to conduct various NPS based studies, right? Then we have also introduced dynamic filters. So what dynamic filters are, it's just a filter. So filters are it is these are more advanced filters. So basically you apply a filter and they keep on adapting based on what you have applied. So let me just give you an example to explain this better, right? So for example, we have introduced this month, present month filter. So if you have applied the filter of present month, right, so it will show you the data of the present month. For example, we are in April. So if you have applied the data of present month, it will show you the data of present month, right, which is April. As soon as we enter May, right, so then it will automatically shift. You don't have to do change anything manually. The data will automatically be reflected of the next month, which will be May, right? So then we have introduced raw data export. So you can export a widget in a raw data format to analyze it further. I'll show you this as well. Then we have introduced role-based sharing. So now once you share some dashboard with your users, right, there is much more added security to it, right? You can restrict what they can see. They will be only be able to see the data which is relevant to them, right? So they won't be able to see any irrelevant data to them, right? Then things as well, which includes draft and publishing features. So once a dashboard shared, you can make changes and not publish that. So once you publish that, the changes would be reflected in that. And one more very key thing we have come up with, which was also recommended, which was also highly recommended, right, which was multilingual dashboards. So now the dashboards could be created in multiple languages, like English, Arabic, French. Then once you share the dashboard, you can even add more than 50 languages to the dashboards itself. So once you share with someone, right, so they'll have an option to switch between languages. They can just choose their preferred languages and see. So maybe you have an Arabic teammate or someone who speaks French, right? So you can just they'll have an option to switch between English, French, Arabic, and multiple languages as well, right? So yeah, so now let's move to the live demo. So this is the screen you see once you log into the platform, which has the list of all of the surveys. To go to the dashboards, you just need to click on this dashboard button over here, right? So once you have entered the dashboard, right, so to create a new dashboard, you just need to click on the new dashboard icon you see over here. So it is very, you must notice that the screen is very similar to the screen we had before, the survey screen. Then to create a new dashboard, you just need to click on this new dashboard icon. So once you do, then you will have an option to create a dashboard. So after choosing the library, I can easily create a dashboard. And I guess I'm facing some internet issues. Yeah. So it's better now. Yeah, great. So I was saying that to create a new dashboard, you just need to click on this new dashboard button. And once you do, you'll have an option to just write down the name, and then you'll be easily able to create a dashboard. But for this example, for this session, right, I had already created a dummy dashboard. uh, I wanted to create a dashboard around an automobile sector dashboard. So I took the example of BMW, but in no way, shape, or format that these scores does not reflect the scores of actual scores of BMW. So these scores were totally customized by our end. We these were dummy. These are all right. So in this particular page, which is the first page of the dashboard, so this is a customer journey mapping page which we have now introduced in Survey to Connect. So now customer journey mapping is possible on Survey to Connect. So this particular, the first widget shows you the all the key touch points, all the key elements of BMW, like start beginning from the discovery part, which includes test drives, discussing with agents, all kind of pre-sales, till the end part, which is recommendation, which may include multiple other stages of a journey like purchase, after sales services. So you can see there the scores, their experiences across all the elements of the journey in this dashboard, right? So down below, I had added some the NPS scores of each the element of the journey. So you can see the all the NPS scores and their comparison from the previous month. So this comparison, so you can see the what is your current NPS score, and you can see the comparison of those with the previous month. So it helps you to easily identify that have you improved, or has the scores went, did the scores go down. So it could be either one of them, right? And below that there are some key words, key statements mentioned by the customers. So the best things about the particular element of that journey, and the issues they were facing in that particular journey, right? So then you can apply multiple filters in the dashboards as well, right? So for example, this is a customer journey mapping page, right? I want to see what is the data for my Washington, for the region Washington, right? Or maybe Los Angeles, right? So I can just easily choose them, and I would be easily be able to see the data of these months. Then we have also, then you can choose to lock a filter and hide a filter. Now what lock and hide are? So basically, if you lock a filter, right? No, you won't be able to make any changes. It will give you an error that this filter is locked. So basically, to whomsoever you have shared this dashboard, he won't be able to make any changes to this particular filter. He will always see this filtered data, right? And what hide means is whenever you share uh, the dashboard, and if you have made a filter hidden, then he won't be able to see that filter. It will be applied, but he won't be able to see that this filter is applied, right? So this is a current month filter, which you can see over here, which is applied on this particular page. So what current month filter is, so I had given you a brief description about this earlier as well. So in this, it is a type of dynamic filter, right? So we have, so since unable to make any changes, I can just easily unlock this filter and just switch between any. So for example, I want to see the data of previous month, right? So last 1 month would automatically appear over here. I want to see the data of current month. So what this current month and previous month exactly means is, so you will always be able to see the data of the previous month. So for example, you are in February, right? You always want to see the data of previous month. So if you are in February and you have applied the filter of previous month, so you will always be able to see the data of January. Once the month changes, once you go from February to March, you will be able to see the data of February. So and so on and so forth. So these are what dynamic filters are, right? So as you can see, when I click on this filter icon, the screen automatically collapses, and once I remove it, then it expands again. So this helps you to have a cleaner of the dashboards. Now we have also moved the logo at the top, as you can see over here. Now you don't need to add an additional widget to show your company's logo. You can add it over here itself. What it helps you with is it helps you to save a lot of space on this particular page. You can focus on the relevant data, which are your charts which are your widgets in this dashboard. Then we have also moved down the page. You can see all the pages are now at the bottom, which were at the top earlier. So this again helps even further to highlight what we have on a page, rather than rather than the focus on particular these things. So these are some small things which we made changes just to make the experience even further better, right? So let's just move to the second page, which is the overall experience page. We have multiple widgets on this page as well. So I had added overall scores. So overall net promoter scores is a combined NPS scores of all the elements of the journey. Then we have monthly trends in this page as well. So monthly trends shows you the data of each element added in different months. So basically you are easily able to compare what was your data in this current month, what was it in previous month, which is March in this case, then what was on February. So basically I'm quickly able to identify, differentiate between the scores, right? Then we have also added the word cloud in this particular page. So what word cloud does is it helps you identify, it helps you analyze all the open-ended feedback collected, right? So you must have multiple open-ended questions in your survey. So using word cloud or sentiment analysis table, as you can see on the right as well, you can easily analyze what the data is, what the inputted data is. So able to tell you what is a positive feedback, how many negative feedbacks were there. Then you can use keyword search to further drill down to see what is the further data, right? So now I'll show you one more thing. So some of you must already be aware of the PDF export. We had it previously as well, right? To export a page in a PDF format, you just need to click on this three-dotted icon and just click on PDF, and your PDF data would be exported. You can also export a page in an Excel format. So this is an page level export. So once you click on this, either of these, the full page, the data available on this page would be exported in your preferred format. It could be Excel, it could be PDF format, right? So I have already exported this particular page in a PDF format. I'll just quickly show you how it looks once exported. So yeah, so this was the page. This is a PDF export of this particular page. So this is how this particular page was exported in PDF format, right? So yeah, so let's now proceed with other pages of the dashboards. So the next page is a pre-sales page, right? So this particular page, we try to gamify this page. We try to add as many possible as infographics, just so that this page looks perfect. It has a great look and feel. It has a good appeal to it. People analyzing it has a great experience to it. So yeah, so in this page you are able to see experience across all the pre-sales services provided. So it could be a test drive experience, it could be a consultation service, it could be a car handover experience, right? And then there's overall satisfaction. On the right, what you can see is overall satisfaction with pre-sales across multiple regions. You can leverage these kinds of chart to compare which are your best performing regions, which are your worst performing regions. So this helps you in comparison of those things as well, right? So this is another word cloud available over here. So this is a new format we have introduced. This is the second format. So the format we saw on the previous page was our old format, and it is still there. So this particular format is a new format we have introduced in the platform. And so what this format shows, so the size of the thing, right? For example, comfortable. So it is, the size shows you how much is that word talked about, right? If it is of a smaller size, so it is talked about in less, it is less connotations. But if the size is bigger, so it is more talked about. And you can also see the green line between this. So looking at this chart, we can clearly see that the comfort level of BMW really appreciated by their customers, right? And whereas test, which I assume is a test drive, so the test drive experience is not very well taken by their customers. There are multiple aspects that technologies is also very highly appreciated by their customers, right? Now now we had introduced a new kind of export. So page level export was available earlier as well. Now the kind of export we have introduced was a widget level export, and which was very thought of before introducing it. So when you go to a widget, you can choose to export it in multiple formats. You can export a widget in PNG, PDF, CSV, or a raw data export. So what is a raw data export? What are CSV exports? So basically PNG and PNG is, it will give you a PNG format of this particular widget. Then PDF export is very similar to what we saw on the previous page, particular widget. Then let's come to raw data export, right? So I'll just export it. So when you click on raw data export, it will ask you to choose an email ID, right? I'll mention my email ID. I'll click on export. So as soon as I'll receive a message, so as soon as this export is created of this raw data, I will receive it on my email. So what you can leverage this particular export to identify what were the exact responses of all the persons who had. You can use this particular kind of export to leverage multiple data to identify what the exact sentiments were, right? So I'll click on exports. So through exports, I can see the status of it being generated. I have already generated a report. Let me just download that and show it to you. Yeah, so this is the export which was created from them. So if you had applied any filter on that particular widget, the exported data would always be filtered data. So as you can see, all the kinds of responses is mentioned, what were their status, what were their responses in different questions. So these things are also mentioned in this particular export, right? So yeah. So yeah, so let's now move to a new page. Yeah, also you can also notice that I had added images between the gauge chart. So this is also something we had recently introduced. So this again helps you gamify the view of look and feel of the dashboard, like, right? So now let's just quickly move to the next page, which is the experience across regions page, right? So basically this page, to gamify this page, we did multiple themifications to this page just to make sure this looks as this looks good, right? So initially you see the customer journey mapping, right? So the first page was about the customer journey mapping, but in this particular tabulation format, you see the customer journey mapping across multiple regions, right? So this helps you to identify different scores across different regions. Then when you scroll down to the bottom, you are able to see this particular tree map we have now introduced. So basically what this tree map shows is the number of responses collected in different regions. So as you can see, San Diego has a bigger size to it, so that means San Diego number of responses in San Diego were higher, whereas Seattle has like a very small size, a darker color, and the number of responses were only. The size of a box represents the number of responses there were, right? So let me just create a new page, right? So let me just show you how easy actually it is to create a dashboard, how easy it is to add multiple things. So to make any changes to the dashboard, right, so you always need to enter the edit mode. Once you enter the edit mode, then only you are able to make any kind of changes to your dashboard. So let me just quickly first create a new page to this dashboard. I'll name this page as demo webinar, right? Then I'll click on save. So now my page is created, right? Now I want to add a new widget to this page. So what widget is, I'll explain you that. So basically widget comprises of all kind of charts, all kind of analysis form. So once you click on new widget, you will be able to create a new widget. So once you do click on it, so you will be able to see the list of all of the widget types available with us. So basically widget types are all the different charts, different tables, rich text analysis or word clouds. Everything is a part of widget. So once you have created a chart, it ends up being created as a widget, right? So for this example, let me just choose a NPS chart, right? So I'll give it the heading as net promoter score. Okay. I also want to now add my values which I want to represent in this particular thing, right? So now once I click on add values, right, so it will ask me to choose a function. So we have introduced multiple new functions. So earlier there were very few when compared to what we have: sum, difference, multiply, like divide, count, average. So for this particular example, so we are creating an NPS widget. So I'll just choose NPS as a function. Then inside NPS, I had a variable called net promoter scores, which I had added in my data source previously. I'll choose that and I'll name it as NPS. Right. So I'll just click on save and my widget would be created. Right. So this is one view of my net promoter score. Right. We have multiple styles available. I want to change the style of how I want to portray this. I want it on a circular scale. I can just easily select circular scale and I can do that. Right. Then I want to choose, so we have multiple types of circular scale as well. So I want to show the other type of circular scale. I can do that as well. Right. So let's just choose this for our example right now. Okay. I want a comparison to this particular widget, right? So I can just click on select comparison and I will be able to see the comparison. Then I can choose what score I want to compare the score of last month, last quarter, last week, like I showed to you earlier as well in the previous widgets, right? Then now I'll just click on create widget. So while this widget is creating, I would like to say that I hope you guys are adding all of the doubts, all of the questions you have in the comment box. I'll try to answer all of those at the end. So you, as you can see, this chart is created. This widget was easily created by me. So this is an NPS representation, right? Now I'll try to add one more chart. I want to create now a GOT chart. Right, I'll go to I'll select GOT chart as the option right now. Right, in the GOT chart, now I want to represent my average overall satisfaction. So average overall, or you can call average overall experience across all the elements of my journey. Right. So again, I'll select the right function, which is my average. Right, then I'll click on data browse. I'll choose the relevant data which needs to be added in this, and then I'll name this as overall satisfaction. And my widget is created. So as you can see, so it was very easy to create, right? So as we had added few images earlier, let's add an image in this as well. I'll just choose some image which are available in my library. So these images were all added by me previously. So let me just choose this one for our example, right? I'll name this widget as overall. And now I'll click on create widget. So yeah, so my this widget was also easily created, right? So this is, so here I am, what I'm trying to portray is it is very easy to create any kind of widget, irrespective of its type. It could be NPS chart, it could be God chart, it could be a bar graph, it could be a nested bar graph, it could be pie charts, donut charts, line charts, SP line, then all kind of thing, all those things are already covered and very easy to create, right? So I want to change the layout of this page. So by layout I mean here, right? I want to increase the size of this particular widget. That is also possible. I want to maybe put it over here, right? I want to again change. So basically what I try to do and trying to show is the edit layout part is very easy to do. It is totally based on drag and drop functionalities. I can easily edit the mobile layout as well from over here, right? I'll just click on save. Now I'll go back, right? So the layout editing part is very easy to do, easy to handle, right? So once you are finished creating the dashboard, right, so then what you can do is you can just see a preview that how this dashboard is looking, how this will eventually look. So for that I can just easily click on preview. So this is how this particular page I had will look once I share this dashboard. I can also see multiple other pages which I had also created, which I had also added previously, right? So now let's see other options which are available in edit mode. So the next option is themes. So basically the colors and each and every element you see on this dashboard is totally customizable. Like for example, I added the black background theme in this particular example. So we, once you click on theme, we already provide few of the basics theme which are already available on the platform. You can use those, or you can always go to a red theme, right? Or you can go to the BMW theme, which I, so the BMW theme was the one I created for this particular example. But we by default provides like two themes. One is default theme, one is red theme. We are planning to introduce more themes as well, right? If you want to create a new theme on your end, you can just create new theme, and you'll have multiple options to like change the page background color. Let's choose it as red, then change the color, the header text size, right? Then change the color of the chart. Let's choose it as black over here. So multiple these things. So once you enter the name of this particular theme and click on save, this theme would be created and could be reused in your future dashboards as well. So I'll just click on cancel for now. Yeah. So the next thing which we have introduced, because of your recommendation, you guys recommended that the dashboard should be multilingual, right? So now the dashboards could be created in multiple languages, right? To do so, just click on this language button. The pop-up will open, right? And you will have an option to add as many languages as possible. We have over 50 languages available in the platform. You can just choose any of your language and template. Basically template would be an Excel file, and in that Excel file you can provide the translation of each and every element. Then you can just easily upload that, and simply this will be translated, right? I have already translated this particular chart in Arabic. I'll show you that as well in the preview section. So let's for example, for overall, let's see for overall experience, right? So I'll again go to the preview section. Yeah. So by default it is in English, but I have an option to switch the languages between when I am on the dashboard. So right now it is in English. You can also always choose to change the default language as well. You can choose to set the default language as Arabic, so the dashboards will always open in Arabic. So now, right now I want to switch from English to Arabic. So it is very easily possible. Just I'll click on this particular icon where English is mentioned. I'll click on Arabic, right? And you can see it is transformed to Arabic very flawlessly. In just, it doesn't take time at all. It flawlessly transformed into an Arabic dashboard, right? So all of the elements, the headings is in Arabic. The format is from right to left instead of left to right now, right? Everything. Let's see another page in this. Let's see this page. So all the charts in this page are now in Arabic, right? All the every each and every element for which I had provided translation is now in Arabic. So this is a new functionality we had come up with. Also, in this particular page itself, what you can do is you can see the mobile view, how this dashboard is looking in a mobile. So this is a preview section. Dashboard will look in a mobile view. So this is, I am in preview. I am able to see how this is how this dashboard is looking in a dashboard view. I can see how it is looking in mobile view as well. So this is just to, this is, preview is, you have preview to see how your dashboard will look eventually when you share it with your users. So why not look it in mobile view as well, that how dashboard will look in mobile, because with all this modernization, people generally tend to log in and use mobiles for multiple kinds of things, right? Then we have test link available. So basically test link is nothing else but a link which could be used for testing purposes. And what I mean by testing purposes is, like for example, you can see that how your dashboard is looking in Chrome, right? You can copy this test link, paste it in maybe Firefox, maybe Safari. You can see how the dashboard is looking in Safari, how the dashboard is in Internet Explorer. So test link could be used in those kind of scenarios, right? So now let's come to the feature of share, right? So now once you are finished creating the dashboard, so you would want to share the dashboard with all of your users. All of your users could be your branch managers, your region heads, right? So I'll just quickly go to share, and in share I had already created a branch manager role, right? Now let's just add a new role by clicking over here, add new role, right? So firstly, I'll select the users. I have multiple users present in this particular account. So I'll select Siddhant Malik and Harry Potter as my user for this particular role, right? Then I'll choose some various kind of data restrictions I want to apply before sharing. So data restrictions could be some specific filters or some generic filters as well. So I'll just filter of city in this particular case. I'll choose Washington and Chicago, right? I'll click on save. So what this exactly means is once I share my dashboard with these two users, they will be able to only see the data for Washington and Chicago, right? Then I'll go to page view. I can also choose which pages I want to display to them. For example, I want to show the customer journey mapping to them. Then I want to show the pre-sales page to them, and I don't want to show any other pages to them, right? Then I'll give a role to them. I can give them a regional head, right? Then I'll click on save and notify, right? As soon as I do so, an email is triggered, and that email would be sent to their email IDs, and it will have the dashboard link which they can leverage to see the dashboard further, right? Let me just show you that as well. I guess I forgot to add the right user. Let me just quickly create a new role and send the email out. I'll select page view, then I'll click on save and notify. So I'll give it a name as regional page, regional role. And I'll click and on save and notify. And yeah, so now it is created. Now let's see, if I have received the email. Let me just reload this particular page. Yeah, here it is, right? So I'll click on this particular email, right? Then I'll click on view dashboards. So the link is already included in the email body itself. So I am redirected to the particular dashboard. Let this dashboard just load. So yeah, so if you remember, we had applied multiple restrictions to these dashboards, which were Washington and LA, right? So and now I am able to see the data for these particular cities only. And I also mentioned that they would only be able to see that pages, these two pages is for customer journey mapping page and pre-sales page. Now other pages, there were 3 more pages if you remember, are not visible to them, and all of the data is for only these 2 cities, right? So now I'll go back to the dashboards. Now what I want is, now I plan to edit a page in this, right? For example, I go to this page, I edit the layout of this page. I want to decrease the size of this chart. And few more widgets and multiple other things, right? But what you may worry that these changes could be reflected to everyone you have shared. So that is also now handled. Until you are finished making all of the changes, you can wait. So once you are finished making all of the changes, you can choose to click on publish. And once you click on publish, then only all the users to whom the dashboard was shared will be able to see all of the changes. So we also maintain the last published date and time. So I just clicked on publish, so that is why it says 0 second, right? So what it means is, it helps you to identify when it was last published. So it in a nutshell, so you can once after sharing the dashboards as well, you can make multiple changes to a dashboard and without them being reflected in your account. So yeah, so that comes very handy when you start using it, right? So yeah, so that was it from my end about a quick introduction about our dashboards 2.0. Well, if we go, we have multiple new advanced features which we have introduced. And if you want to know about the dashboards even more further, I invite you all to log into our platform, especially to all the users who have not been using our platform lately. I invite you all to log into the platform. We are offering our dashboards for free for next month, also because of the COVID situation, right? So we are offering, I would invite you all to visit the platform, try exploring the dashboards, try creating new dashboards, try using multiple exports. Also, the dashboards could be created not only from the surveys in your platform, you can also use an Excel to create a dashboard. So if you have a data set available in an Excel file, you can easily just upload that Excel and you can start creating multiple dashboards, right? So let me just go to, if you guys have any questions, just if you have not added them now, let me just, now I'll respond to all of those questions. Yeah, so let me just see what all questions are there. So yeah. Yeah, so a question is, hey, is the graph made automated or of we have to make it ourselves in the dashboard? So yeah, so all the graphs, all the widgets, you have to create it on your end, but it is very easy to create. You can help available on our platform at help.survey to connect. You can refer that help, which can help you further identify what you are what you are creating, is that fine or not, right? Is applied daily basis or weekly basis or just monthly comparison, right? So yeah, so comparison is possible. Between weekly comparison is also possible, monthly comparison is also possible, and quarterly comparison is also possible. So there was a question, a guy wanted to this person wanted to know that what comparisons were possible, right? Can time period be of a quarter? Yeah, so time periods can be set up in quarters as well. So time period could be of first quarter, second quarter. Yeah, that is also possible. Is it possible to compare the results with previous years of the same month? Example, if we want to compare January 2020 results with January to January. So yeah, so this particular requirement, so it is mentioned over here that someone wants to compare their January 2020 results with the January 2019 results. So that is also possible. That is not actually not possible right now, but it is a good suggestion. I'll note it down. I'll I'll see what we can do to this and to compare 2 months from different years, right? So that is a good suggestion, and I'll note it down, and I'll see what can be done related to this. Can you in more in so yeah, so you want so someone wants to know more about the comment analysis. So what I believe is are the sentiment analysis which I was talking about earlier. So basically, yeah, so sentiment analysis engine is available in our platform, right? So we have, once you enter some feedback in the platform, right? So that feedback is automatic. Right? Each and every feedback is first identified, what it means, what each and every feedback, what are the emotions behind each and every feedback. So once the each and every feedback is identified, the emotions, then you can create multiple things like word cloud. You can create sentiment analysis tables. Then you can use keyword search. So what this does is it, without doing any putting in any manual efforts, you will be easily able to segregate all your satisfied customers from your dissatisfied customers, or you will be able to find out what are the key reasons people are satisfied and what are the key reasons they are dissatisfied. So as shown by me in the live dashboards before as well, right? So the elements which were bigger in size were the things which were most talked about. Let me just share my screen again and show that. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible now, right? So yeah, so this is a word cloud for BMW. So the size of the word staff is bigger because it was most talked about, and when you hover over it, so you are able to see what are the how many are the positive connotations. So 8 people were talking about staff in positive way, 10 were in negative way, and 4 were passives, which were talking about in a mixed format, right? So yeah, so this is an example of word cloud, right? So let me just see more questions. The filters duration. Yeah. So yeah, so also the filters which you apply on a page, which were time range filter, which were city based filter, or the filters were branch based filter, right? So those filters also work on the sentiment analysis cloud. You can also call it a word cloud if you want. So basic all the filters you apply will be applied on all of the widgets. There's no restrictions to any widget on which the filter won't be applied, right? So yeah, so the filters would be applied on sentiment analysis and the word clouds as well. So yeah, so again, so there's a comment, people asking that is an icon library available which you can use to create your dashboards, to make your dashboards better in look and feel. So right now we don't have an icon library, but roadmap we will be soon introducing. We'll try to introduce it as soon as possible. Yeah, but it is in a roadmap to have a library which consists of icon which you can use while creating the dashboards. Yeah, so someone has asked me to share the recording of this webinar. Of course, I'll will try to email the recording of this webinar with all of you, with so that you can refer this post this webinar if you want to come back to it, or if you want to have a 101 session about the dashboards, how they are used, how they are created. That will be also possible. Do we have a modern color palettes in the theme section? Nowadays a lot of modern colors themes are used. They look quite good. Yeah, so this questions that are the modern colors available in the theme. So I guess by modern colors you mean colors which are commonly used in the platform. Yes, so if you noticed earlier while I was so all the themes which are available already available with us, we have tried to add multiple type of gradient colors already in them. We try to have multiple gradient colors in them, but for now you cannot add a gradient color on your own, but you can choose any kind of color using the RGB, using the hex. If you have the hex code of a particular color, you can use that code to, and you can leverage that particular thing, and you can use that color further. Or you can, but you cannot add any gradient color on your own right now. But in the themes which we provide, we do add multiple kind of gradient color in that. How do you apply the Arabic language after adding it? Right. So yeah, so once you click on the language, so on the right panel you'll see an option to add multiple languages. So once you add a new language to the dashboard, you'll have a button to edit it, then edit that, then upload an Excel file. Right. Before that, you'll also have an option to export a file in the perfect format. You can just, in that particular Excel file, you can just add all the translations for all of the verb. It comes from English to whatever language you want. So once it is done, you can just easily upload that file again, right? And all of the translations would be done. How do we have to put translation in? Right. So I guess there are multiple doubts regarding the translation part. So let me just share my screen again. Let me just show you guys again how translation works. So yeah. So let me just, so to add a translation to a particular dashboard, just click on edit mode, right? As soon as you do so, so you'll see a option of languages here, right? So you can just click on that language button, and a pop-up will open a right on the right side. A new screen will appear, right? So to add a new language, you can click on add new language over here, then just choose to select your preferred language, right? So let's just select French for an example, right? So as soon as I click on French, right, it will ask me to download a template. I can easily do that by, I'll just click on download template. It will download that template in an Excel format. So I can just open that template, right? So in this particular template, you will be able to see so all of the English comments. So in French column, you can provide all of the French translations to it, and then just go back to the platform, right, and upload it by clicking over here, right? As soon as you do so, so all of your dashboard would be quickly translated, will be very accurately translated into that particular language. So yeah, so this is how you translate the language. right? So do you have mobile app or so? Yeah, so we don't have a mobile app for the dashboards as of now. Maybe we will have one in the future, but as of now, we don't have a mobile app. But our dashboards are compatible on mobile as well. So you must have like multiple uh, things like Gmails, like multiple browsers these days, and browsers to open those links. And once you log into the platform, right? So you will be able to export the so you will be able to see the dashboards e- appropriately in the mobile view as well, right? So the dashboards basically are compatible in all kind of devices, but for now we don't have a mobile app for the dashboards. Yeah, so there's a very good question from Satish. Hi, Satish. So basically, he wanted to know that the dynamic filter I had applied, were they on, what were they on? So uh, were they on the time on which the responses were collected, or so basically we have two times. One is start time, one is end time. So what is a start time? Start time is the time when a respondent starts giving a response, and the second thing is an end time. So end time response, right? So there are two times. So you can create the filters, both the dynamic filters based on both of the things. So Satish, it is possible on both of the things. So it could be on based on end time as well as start time, right? So you can apply the filter on both. So it will first ask you to choose either one of them. So either start time or end time. Once you choose, then it will ask you to apply a dynamic filter to the dashboard. Yeah, so Geo Maps are not so available right now. So Geo Maps are under development right now. So you will be also be able to soon. Not, I don't think so. It will take a lot of time because it is under our consideration, and our it is our one of our priority to introduce Geo Maps as well as yeah. So basically, answering to your question, Geo Maps are not available as a widget right now, but they will be soon available in the dashboards format, or has to be so if you want to analyze a dashboard, if you want to create a dashboard from an Excel format, right? So it has to be in a format which survey to connects accepts data in, right? So once you start creating a dashboard, it will ask you to add a file. If you have any Excel file, you can upload that file to answer your question. So yes, we have a format, we have a predefined format, and you can always download that format before uploading an Excel file, before creating a dashboard. So you can easily download that file. So it is a very generic format which you can easily understand from the once you start data source. Can we specify the negative words or positive? So yeah, so there's a question asking that can we show sentences in the word cloud? So no, actually, so the word clouds we cannot show the sentences. So basically, these are word clouds are more of a word based analysis. The sentiments shown in the word cloud are based on a particular word. So that particular word is identified that it is being talked about in positive way or a negative way, and all the data collected is then collected and then comprised together. Then based on that, the word cloud are created. So the sentences cannot be added in a word. can you use to create the overall chart? So yeah, so which graph slash chart can you use to create a overall satisfaction widget when upload the image? So basically, what I guess the meaning of this question is, what are the best graphs and charts possible possible to use to create new widgets. So there are different types of, depending on your requirements. So you can use a GOT chart to create a overall satisfaction widget. You can create a, if you want to see overall satisfactions across different regions, then you can use a bar chart. Then in bar chart you can use the value as overall satisfaction. Then you can break it by multiple regions you have. So basically break bys are the separators, the filters in which will help you to see the overall satisfaction across different, depending on your requirements. So a GOT chart is a good example, which I had used multiple at multiple places in the dashboard I had shown you. So yeah, I guess so. That was the time I had. That was the time I had for this session. I can still see so many questions are there, which I would of course love to answer all of them, but because of the time restrictions, I would have to take a leave. But if you guys, if you want to still ask any questions, you can write down my email ID, which is siddhant@survey2connect.com, and feel free to drop me an email. I would love to answer all kind of your queries and doubts on that email. Right. So yeah. So one, before we leave, so there's one more question. Let's just quickly answer that in. You had mentioned that there is another type of word cloud. How to see the second format you show? Right. So yeah, so the second format of word cloud is a new format we have recently come up with. So basically that is a big word. The word size will show you how it, the number of responses on based on that word, and there's a line between that, between under that, so which shows you the number of positive connotations and negative connotations, and also the average connotations of average of that. So yeah, so that's it from mine. I'm so sorry if I missed any questions from you guys, to answer any questions from you guys, but I hope it was a helpful session for you guys, because it was so again, so I would like to, before I end, I would like to say that you guys please stay safe, stay home. Let's try to break the chain. Let's keep safe and keep our distances. Let's maintain social distancing, right? To avoid all this current situation of COVID. Okay. Okay. Bye. Bye guys. Have a nice day and keep rocking.